Hello folks, I'm your host Jay, and welcome to the fourth episode. The morning of September 11th, 2001, forever changed the United States and the world. The coordinated terrorist attacks carried out by Al-Qaeda shocked the nation and the international community. Nearly 3,000 innocent lives were lost that day, leaving a scar deeply etched in the collective memory of the nation. The attacks were a watershed moment, prompting immediate and long-lasting changes in American society, government, and foreign policy. They led to the initiation of the War on Terror, with US engagement in prolonged military conflicts in Afghanistan and Iraq. The events of 9/11 also fundamentally altered the global security landscape, leading to heightened awareness and measures against terrorism worldwide. Understanding the significance of 9/11 extends beyond the immediate loss and destruction. The legacy of 9/11 continues to influence contemporary discourses on national security, civil liberties, and international relations. As we delve deeper into the investigations and findings surrounding 9/11, it is crucial to reflect on the lessons learned to prevent similar tragedies in the future. On the morning of September 11th, 2001, 19 terrorists hijacked 4 commercial airplanes, transforming them into weapons of mass destruction. The chaos began at 8:46 a.m. when American Airlines Flight 11 crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center in New York City. Just 17 minutes later, at 9:03 a.m., United Airlines Flight 175 struck the South Tower, creating an inferno that engulfed the iconic skyscrapers. At 9:37 a.m., American Airlines Flight 77 collided with the Pentagon, escalating the devastation. The final chapter of this tragic morning unfolded over the skies of Pennsylvania. United Airlines Flight 93, hijacked and heading towards a target in Washington, D.C., crashed in a rural field at 10:03 a.m. The brave passengers attempted to regain control of the aircraft from the hijackers, sacrificing themselves to prevent further destruction. The timeline of events on that fateful day remains a poignant reminder of the fragility of peace and the ever-present threat of terrorism. In the immediate aftermath of the attacks, emergency responders heroically mobilized to rescue those trapped and provide aid to the survivors. In New York City, firefighters, police officers, and medical personnel rushed to the World Trade Center, risking their lives to save as many individuals as possible. The bravery of these first responders became a defining image of resilience amidst the devastation. The government's response was swift and multifaceted, with President George W. Bush addressing the nation to reassure the public and condemn the acts of terror. Air traffic across the United States was halted for the first time in history as authorities attempted to prevent further hijackings. Security at potential targets was heightened and the National Guard was deployed to assist in maintaining order. Within hours, it became evident that Al-Qaeda, led by Osama bin Laden, was responsible. The federal government set in motion plans to retaliate and dismantle the terrorist organization, culminating in the invasion of Afghanistan in October 2001. The attacks prompted an unprecedented outpouring of international solidarity, with allies around the world expressing their support and pledging to assist in the fight against terrorism. In the wake of the attacks, it became apparent that a thorough investigation was necessary to understand how such a colossal failure in intelligence and security could occur. Thus, the 9/11 Commission was established in late 2002, tasked with providing a comprehensive account of the events leading up to the attacks and recommending measures to prevent future occurrences. Officially known as the National Commission on Terrorist Attacks upon the United States, it was a bipartisan panel composed of members from diverse political backgrounds. Over the course of 20 months, the Commission reviewed millions of documents, conducted interviews with key officials, and held public hearings to gather testimonies from survivors, family members, and experts. The formation of the 9/11 Commission was a significant step towards accountability and transparency. The work of the 9/11 Commission culminated in a landmark report released in July 2004. The report provided a detailed account of the events leading up to the attacks, the failures in intelligence, and the inner workings of Al-Qaeda. It offered a roadmap for reforming national security and intelligence structures, emphasizing the importance of cooperation and coordination across all levels of government. The 9/11 Commission's report revealed systemic failures and missed opportunities that allowed the terrorists to execute their plan. Intelligence agencies failed to share and act upon crucial information. Despite multiple warnings, the intelligence community lacked a unified strategy. Several hijackers were known to US intelligence agencies. Lack of communication between the CIA and FBI prevented crucial intelligence sharing. This created blind spots, allowing the hijackers to enter the US. Hijackers exploited weaknesses in airport screening procedures. The report criticized inadequate airport security measures. The findings prompted urgent calls for security reform and adaptation. The 9/11 Commission recommended creating the Director of National Intelligence to oversee intelligence agencies. They also established the Transportation Security Administration for enhanced airport security. The National Counterterrorism Center was formed to integrate and analyze terrorism intelligence. These measures aimed to improve communication, security, and prevent future threats. Despite the thoroughness of the 9/11 Commission's investigation, the report was not without its controversies and critics. Some individuals and groups questioned the integrity of the Commission, suggesting that political influences may have compromised its findings. These suspicions gave rise to various conspiracy theories, ranging from claims of government complicity to suggestions of a cover-up to protect certain interests. Critics of the Commission's report argued that it failed to hold certain high-level officials accountable for their roles in the intelligence failures. This perceived lack of accountability fueled mistrust and skepticism among segments of the public, leading to persistent doubts about the official narrative. Conspiracy theories surrounding 9/11 have been fueled by a combination of factors, including the complexity of the events, gaps in available information, and emotional responses to the tragedy. The Internet has played a significant role in spreading these theories, allowing them to gain traction among those seeking alternative explanations. While the majority of these theories lack credible evidence, they continue to shape public discourse and influence perceptions of the events. The controversies surrounding the 9/11 Commission's report underscore the challenges of achieving consensus in the aftermath of such a traumatic event. The 9/11 attacks profoundly impacted US foreign policy. The US launched a global war on terror, altering international relations. The invasion of Afghanistan marked the start of military interventions against terrorism. These actions led to a more aggressive foreign policy. The USA Patriot Act expanded surveillance and law enforcement powers. This raised concerns about civil liberties and privacy. Commemorative initiatives honor the victims and ensure their memory endures. The National September 11 Memorial and Museum in New York City serves as a place of reflection and education. Memorials and ceremonies provide opportunities for communities to come together, remember, and heal. Recent investigations have brought to light new evidence suggesting possible involvement of Saudi officials in the 9/11 attacks. This evidence has emerged in the context of a lawsuit filed by survivors and relatives of the victims against the Saudi government. Key figures in this inquiry include Omar al-Bayoumi, who is alleged to have provided logistical support to the hijackers, and Fahad al-Thumairi, a Saudi cleric linked to the plot. Documents and testimonies have surfaced, suggesting that al-Bayoumi, who was initially portrayed as a mere student, may have been acting as a Saudi intelligence agent. His interactions with the hijackers in the months leading up to the attacks have raised suspicions about his true role and intentions. Similarly, al-Thumairi's connections to the hijackers have fueled questions regarding the extent of Saudi involvement. The potential involvement of Saudi officials has reignited debates about accountability and transparency. The new evidence highlights the complexity of the 9/11 narrative and underscores the need for ongoing investigation and scrutiny. The events of September 11, 2001, and the subsequent investigations have left an indelible mark on the United States and the world. The attacks exposed critical vulnerabilities in national security and intelligence, prompting a re-evaluation of strategies and policies. The 9/11 Commission's findings and recommendations have led to significant reforms, but the legacy of that day continues to shape contemporary discussions on security and foreign policy. The lessons learned from 9/11 emphasize the importance of cooperation, communication, and adaptability in addressing emerging threats. In an increasingly interconnected world, the need for robust intelligence sharing and coordinated responses is paramount. The legacy of 9/11 also underscores the need to balance security with civil liberties, ensuring that measures to protect society do not come at the expense of fundamental freedoms. As we reflect on the impact of 9/11 and the lessons learned, it is essential to honor the memory of those who lost their lives by striving for a safer and more secure world. The journey towards a future free from the shadows of terrorism is ongoing, but with vigilance, cooperation and determination, it is one that we are committed to pursuing. Gap 3S. While the 9/11's attacks are often discussed in terms of geopolitical shifts and policy changes, the heart of the tragedy lies in the personal stories of those who were directly affected. Gap 1S. Thousands of innocent lives were lost on that fateful day, each with their own unique story of love, dreams and aspirations cut short. Families were torn apart, and communities were left to grieve the loss of friends, neighbours and loved ones. Gap 1S. In the years since, countless memorials and tributes have been established to honor the victims. From the 9/11 Memorial and Museum in New York City to the Flight 93 National Memorial in Pennsylvania, these sites serve as places of remembrance and reflection. Gap 1S. Survivors and first responders have shared their harrowing experiences, providing a human face to the statistics and reports. Their courage and resilience continue to inspire us, reminding us of the strength of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable adversity. Gap 1S. As we remember the events of September 11, 2001, we must also honor the enduring legacy of those who perished. Their stories remind us of the importance of unity, compassion, and the shared humanity that binds us all. Gap 1S. The tributes and memorials are not just about looking back, but also about moving forward with a renewed commitment to building a world where such tragedies never happen again. Gap 1S. As we conclude this exploration of the 9/11 investigation and its aftermath, let us carry forward the lessons learned, the memories cherished, and the hope for a more peaceful future.